welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. And this week, what caught my attention was a little bug man named like Cockroach Man or something. And there's a second game and we played it. But with me are the amazing Nick and Will from Friday Night Gamecast, two of my favorite podcasters in the game. They made my top 5 Spotify wrap-up. And unfortunately, this is the last we're going to hear of them for a while, right?
For a little bit. I mean,
we're going a little breaky.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is that I don't have it, as long as William can make it, or if like he can, and like we can't make time. I'm always down to do a feature if I can work it into the schedule. But yeah, for the mainline show for the Friday Night Gamecast, we're going on a little bit of a pause after this coming Friday, and then we have another piece of content coming out the following Friday. But yeah, we're gonna go dark for Christmas.
Okay, so yeah. it's gonna be this Friday, then Monday when you guys are listening to this, and then something else this Friday. Because this is Friday, releasing Monday the 8th. I am all fucked up on days, so I have no idea when.
Yeah, I think the 8th is Friday. So the 8th is when we have the last piece dropping.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Monday the 11th exactly is when people should be hearing this, right?
Yes. So, Nick, Will, how are you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, things are looking good. We're getting in that Christmas spirit. You know, you hit early December. Hopefully, work starts to kind of fade away, and then you can just get ready for the end of the year and the beginning of 2024. So I'm excited. We have now this crazy year of games effectively in the rearview mirror. So it's going to be fun just taking this next month to kind of, take a breather and recognize all the crazy shit that happened in 2023 to us.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Yeah. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm feeling really good. Finishing up this season 2 of the podcast has just got me a little bit like exhausted, but at the same time, I'm hopeful for the future, and I'm all together. I feel like that we've had a really good year, fun year, incredible year for gaming, honestly. And so I think that like as somebody with gaming being my primary passion, my primary hobby, I couldn't be happier with the way that this year turned out. So I'm just, collecting myself for the Christmas season. I'm going to try to do as little traveling as possible, just stay home, hunker down. And I got some time off at the end of the month. So we're doing good over here. It's nice.
That sounds awesome. You guys got any plans on playing anything specifically during the break?
Man, there's some things I need to definitely catch up on. I got to get into Alan Wake 2. That's been a glaring spot and then also Dead Space, the remake. So I love Dead Space. I got the remake on sale a couple of months after it came out, and I was looking to get into it in October, and it just came and went. So now it's December, and I'm hoping that during this kind of between time, I can hop into that.
Hopefully you don't take the Thrak approach to it, because he heard the episode that we did with Burger Champ. And as soon as it dropped on Game Pass, he jumped into it. And like 2 days later, he's like, I'm done with the game. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Just burned through it. Well, luckily, my daughter will not allow that to happen. I get a handful of, time to play the game itself. And then I got to turn around and do a diaper or wash some bottles. So I have like a built-in kind of funnel. Something keeps me from just gorging on games like I used to.
Yeah, he's got a limit gauge. He can only pop it occasionally, right? Yeah, for games that I'm thinking about playing over the break, it's really going to be a continuation of my backlog. Working with Dave, for like the Patreon community, I think he opened it up to his general Discord server as well, but he has backlog resolutions for 2024, and I put a bunch of stuff on there, namely stuff like Nier Automata, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. This will come out in the episode that's releasing this Friday as of the date of we're recording, but I am really, really close to the end of Yakuza 7, and I'm probably going to snowball that into Yakuza 0 so I can get some context on who Majima and Kiryu are, and so working all that fun stuff. So it's going to be, I feel like, big JRPG energy for Nick going forward into 2024. I was telling Will this as well, like, I have so many things I want to play, like Assassin's Creed Mirage, but again, I'm not going to play that based on the reviews alone. I've heard people say it's fine, like capital F fine, but I love Assassin's Creed, so I'm wondering like where that's going to land for me in terms of my willingness to give Ubisoft the grace that I tend to actually give them with the various games that they play. But it's also going to be big Mario time for me. I have to be, because after Will played Super Mario Odyssey, I started it, didn't finish it. So I need to finish Super Mario Odyssey. I want to play Super Mario Wonder and Super Mario RPG. And all of those 3 back-to-back should be relatively quick games from my understanding if I'm just focused and I play through them. So if I knock them out, I can kind of get some Mario action under my belt. But yeah, other than that, also just knocking out Baldur's Gate 3, man. I got to get through this game. I got to get through this game. Yeah.
He said knocking out Baldur's Gate 3. You could be playing that for the next 2 years.
honestly. And that's why it's so good.
Especially with that that patch that's coming out on the 5th that's going to add like post-game stuff and being able to revisit missions and spend more time with characters and stuff. That's going to be massive.
Yeah.
And I love hearing stuff like that too, because that makes me feel so much better about not being able to absorb games like I used to, because I'm waiting and then I get cool drops like that. You know, I missed Cyberpunk when it first came out, but now I get to see Phantom Liberty and, you know, the 2.0 update where now people can ride the subways. So I'm like, it's all I ever wanted. So it pays to be a patient gamer.
Oh, yeah.
All you out there listening, you don't have to hype on the, hype train immediately. I'm going to do that with Grand Theft Auto and Dragon's Dogma. So do as I say, not as I do. But it does pay to wait.
It does.
Yeah.
I waited. Well, the patrons forced me to play Cyberpunk, and it was amazing. But now I'm seeing like all this cool shit that they're adding to it. I'm like, I need to do another replay. I bought it on Xbox specifically so I could do another replay, and I don't think it's ever going to happen because there's so much shit happening.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you said Assassin's Creed Mirage. I played it and beat it. It took me about 20 hours, right? I gave it an 8 out of 10. So for what I wrote after I finished, my initial thoughts were, I hope that Assassin's Creed goes back to the same formula because it's stealthy. You know, there's a bunch to explore. It's not made for you to fight people. You can like take on a group of people and fight, but it's not made for that. It's made to be stealthy. So I hope they go back to that formula. Short 20-hour games with doable collectibles and a decent mission structure with none of the bullshit RPG elements. These games will never be more than an 8 out of 10, so just keep aiming for that and don't try to reinvent the wheel. I really enjoyed playing the game. It's
so
it's like
sorry
if they
to cut you
took
off. Go ahead.
It's like if they took the original Assassin's Creed and modernized it. It's what it feels like. That's it. That's all you need.
And I mean, I fell in love with the original Assassin's Creed. You know, Al Mualim and his character, the villain in that game, like literally made the Assassin's Creed franchise what it is today. Not to mention the outstanding product that was Assassin's Creed 2, and just being Ezio for that first time, being able to live in that world, that timeless and classic Renaissance Florence of Italy at that period. So in my mind, where I'm hearing it from you, if it's hitting 8 out of 10. I couldn't agree with that assessment more. These games can't ever really surpass 8 out of 10 because of the scope of what Ubisoft is trying to aim for with their products. They're never going to innovate anything more that's going to get them out of that territory. So if it's at least hitting that mark for you, that gives me hope that it's going to resonate really well with me too.
I would say maybe after Christmas they might put it on sale. Grab it then. Don't jump into it like right now because you're going to have a good time, but once you're done, you're done. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, I feel like I would be willing to pay a little bit of money and not like, because I feel like there are tiers to it in terms of being a patient gamer. There are patient gamer tiers. There's, I'm going to get it at launch, which is bottom tier, F tier. I'm caught in the hype cycle. I'm just going to do it. No patience at all. And then
you ate the marshmallow.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's going to be like, oh, let me wait till the summertime Steam sale or like the Christmas time sale over at GameStop. Let me get a physical copy, right? That's the next step up. Okay, so you're still paying for it. Next step up from that is like waiting for it to come to services. I feel like it's like that's the ultimate patient gamer play, to wait 2 years later and then play it later on and be like, hey guys, this game was amazing. I hope you didn't know that. Yeah.
It's like me with Remnant 2 when I was like, damn, I love the first Remnant. I can't wait to get Remnant 2. And then now I'm like, it's on Game Pass.
That paid off. That really paid. I wasn't expecting it to come to Game Pass as soon as it was. Are you a Remnant player? Do you like games like that, Chris?
Never played it. I saw it maybe this week for the first time ever when it started popping off on TikTok and people are like, this shit is awesome, but the final boss sucks. Like, oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Like, so what, it's just a third person looter shooter?
It's like a third person Dark Souls-esque. So they try to get kind of more interpersonal. You know, you're fighting enemies either one-on-one or like a handful at a time. You're not just mowing down people. And then if you die, you get knocked back to one of those checkpoints, just like the flames from Dark Souls.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of in that same vein.
Yeah, the bonfires. That's awesome.
That sounds pretty interesting, because I'm kind of figure out something to play with Thrak while Burger Champ gets ready to play Alien Hominid Invasion. So
those are great co-op games.
That might be a good thing to go into.
Calling out the community really quick, does Thrak have his own pod? I feel like I've seen him in multiple servers.
Yes, so he is with Bill in the 3DO experience.
Oh, okay, that's making sense now, because I remember Bill was attached. He does the 3DO podcast out there, and they talk about the retro games outside of the gaming and collecting thing. So, okay, that makes sense, because I keep seeing him pop up, and I'm like, he sounds so familiar. Who is this Thrak person? So, yeah, it sounds awesome.
So a little bit of backstory about Thrak. So I started listening to podcasts by listening to Codex, A History of Video Games. They made a Discord. I joined. I met Thrak and Burger Champ and Will and all the people in my Discord there. And I decided to start a podcast, and somehow they all migrated over into my server. And Thrak was like, I want to be on the show. I haven't been in a podcast in so long. Let me be on the show. I was like, sure, let's go through this and we'll be on the show. And he basically just used my show to get into everybody else's podcast, because I'm like, today we were talking on Discord trying to figure out what we're playing next, and he's like, well, I can't really play anything for like the next 2 weeks because I got like 4 podcast recordings.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
Okay, that's fine.
It's fine by me.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
You gotta love that.
He's great. He's fantastic. He's the best thing that ever happened to a novel console.
Yeah,
I love it.
You have a ton of really knowledgeable people that are in your Discord about like retro games specifically, which I greatly appreciate. And they're just knowledgeable about games in general. So it's quite useful to have like really supportive folks like that in your community that are going to come out and show out for a novel console. Speaking of which, a novel console, how is Carradine doing? What's going on with her?
She is probably trying to read a book and trying to watch Frasier at the same time.
What?
At the same
damn time.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it.
It drives me insane because I'm trying to play something on the Steam Deck or the Switch or whatever, and Frasier is so loud. She has it so loud that I can't concentrate on anything. And for her, it just like dulls her senses so that she can focus on her book. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I go crazy.
Hey, could be worse. Could be listening to TV, reading her book, and then also listening to an audiobook at 2 times speed.
Don't tempt her. You better not hear that.
You hear this?
She will.
Amazing.
So going back to what you said earlier, Will, you're looking to get into Alan Wake 2. Have you played the first one?
For sure. Love the first one. So that was one of those games that I know it was damn near vaporware to a lot of people, because they were like, oh, it's supposed to be coming out, it's never coming out, it's supposed to come out, it never comes out. Comes out to a lot of people, giving it middling reviews. I'm not the 7 out of 10 king. I want to be, but I know I can't like take that crown. But I love 7 out of 10 games. I love Alan Wake. I love this year Dead Island 2 came out.
Oh, yeah.
I consider that like my quintessential 7 out of 10. I'm like, I'm having a blast. It's not winning any awards, but I'm have a smile on my face the whole time I play it. So some game like that, I'm like, boom, it's a video game. That's all I'm looking for. Okay. So I loved Alan Wake. I even liked it enough to get that American Wasteland DLC. It was like it was like an offshoot of the original game. It's like with Alan trapped, and it kind of showed him running around like doing some random bullshit. I can't even explain it, but I was just like, I need more Alan Wake, so I did that.
Just like that DLC they made,
went like straight.
The DLC
American
they made
Nightmare.
to bridge that
American Nightmare. There you go. Yep. So that's one. So I played through that one, beat that, enjoyed that, and then of course that led right into my love that I've spoken about multiple times with Control, and then the second they kind of
Control
started wrapping
so
that up, and
fucking
the
good.
Alan Wake is so good. Let them know, Chris, it's so good.
so
Control,
fucking
If you're
good.
listening to this right now, hit pause and go play Control.
Yeah.
Come back after
Seriously.
you finish it.
Yeah.
There you
Or
go.
no, hit pause and go listen to our Control review, and then come back after you're done with that, and then go play Control. Yeah, no, it's so good. Control is one of those things where it transcended Remedy as a developer. I feel like there are a lot of times where, or we've seen it in our recent past here, as like people who are paying attention to developers as they make games. I think with Naughty Dog, they were really, I mean, they were notable since they came out with Uncharted 1. Like, people were paying attention to Naughty Dog until Uncharted 1, but they didn't become like prestige developers until Uncharted 4, right? When people were like, oh my God, this is game changing for third-person action shooters, right? I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Maybe people have middling opinions on it.
People were probably picking up, right, like the first Last of Us, and everyone was just like, oh, this is, the greatest video game story of all time.
Yeah.
And then Uncharted 4 came out, and it was just like,
Yeah,
this is the greatest video game of all time.
Because it went Uncharted 3, Last of Us, and then Uncharted 4, right? And that's when they were really hitting their stride. And I feel like Control was like the Last of Us for Remedy. Where people were like, oh my God, no, we have to take them seriously now. And I love it because it's something that I want to go back to. I was just telling Will that I need to go back and get my platinum in Control because I only have one trophy left. I was just like super lazy about getting it because I had to do some type of AWE inside of the old house to get it for the base game. But yeah, so I'm going to do that and also jump into Alan Wake 2 ASAP. Kind of debating on what to pay for it though, or where to get it, honestly.
So I bought it and I was like, I'm just going to jump into it and play it. But Discord was like, no, play it right. Play the first one in the DLC, that the American Nightmare. And then...
Oh, okay. So you hadn't played those before?
No, I haven't played it. The only Remedy games that I've played actually has just been Control. Because I never played...
No, you haven't played. You didn't play the first two Max Paynes either?
No, I played 3.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Which I mean, to be fair, I might get some hate. You played the best one. I love Max Payne 3. Rockstar
nobody's going to fight you on that. that game was fucking crazy.
I was like, some people love, Max Payne 1 and 2, and they're like, oh, 3's so different. I'm like, yeah, because it's better.
Yeah. Jordan Moore from the Complete Xbox, he was on our Starfield review, and he's kind of a nut in a good way, in the best way possible, a video game player, because he played Alan Wake 2, fell in love with it, and then went back and played all of the other games in Remedy's catalog. So he went like backwards. He went to like Alan Wake 1 and then Control, and then he did Max Payne 1 and 2. I was like, you're really playing Max Payne 1 and 2 right now? He's like, yeah, man, it's awesome. It's sick. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I think I'd wait for the remakes before I play those 2 games.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So I was... Discord tells me, play it right. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like finishing up, cleaning up some stuff. I'm mopping up whatever I have left in Naruto X Boruto, whatever game before I played before that. So once I finish Naruto, I want to play something. And I see that Gene Park posts something about Like a Dragon Gaiden. I'm like,
okay.
I quote it, and he replies to me, it made me cry. And I'm like, fuck, now I have to play it. So now I'm playing Like a Dragon Gaiden.
You're legally obligated. Gene Park replied to you.
You got the seal of approval from Gene, for sure.
And I'm playing it now. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I thought my game of the years were going to be Pikmin 4, Spider-Man, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars, and whatever else. And no, Like a Dragon Gaiden is right there on second spot, right behind Pikmin. And I'm like 15 hours in. It's fucking incredible. Fantastic.
How far do you think you are at 15 hours in terms of completing it?
Oh shit, that's okay. So I'm on chapter 3 only. I have no idea how many chapters there are because they made it so that you can do all of the side quests and side content and whatever you want right off the bat. So they don't gate anything from you.
So like they did in 7, where it's like you had to go through chapters to unlock more side content. Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like basically once they're like, okay, you can do missions and you can do missions, that's it. You can do everything in the game. So I've been like, go ahead.
Do you want me to tell you how many chapters there are? Because
that's fine.
There are 5. So you're a good way through it at 15 hours. That's not bad at all.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Yeah. That kind of makes sense because I'm I think I have like 3 or 4 side quests that I haven't unlocked, and like all of the other ones are like halfway completed. So,
Oh yeah.
but it just feels so great to be back playing as Kiryu after the end of 6, and it having the story run parallel to Like a Dragon 7 with Ichiban. It's just I'm so hyped. Like I can't wait for the next one to come out, and I haven't even finished this. Like this is why I love Yakuza, because it's so fucking good. And this game is just like,
yeah, I'm trying to get the platinum in 7 right now.
In 7?
And it's so it's going to be a little bit of a grind. I feel like I'm doing all the hacks that I can to try and level them up in their jobs and get them all in different proficiencies as much as possible, so I can get those different achievements. I've gotten all the achievements for like job variety, but now it's just maxing out the job levels for the various characters and then getting Ichiban past level 70. But what everybody says is that really to do the true final Millennium Tower achievement, you have to have people at like 99 to actually not get one shot by some of the enemies that are in that section. So it'll be interesting to see how it works.
I thought about doing the Millennium Tower, but once I started seeing like all the requirements, I'm like, no,
you're good.
I got what I wanted out of the story. I'm good.
Right. That's awesome. Perfect.
Did you finish the story yet?
No, I got past chapter 14, so I'm right before they take you to Kamurocho, which is kind of a spoiler, so you might want to block that out. But either way, yeah, it's definitely a really, really incredible experience. I'm at the part where they're revealing characters that are from like the 0 through 6 timeline, and then like I didn't think were even going to be in the game, and I'm like, oh my god, there's that guy, and then they show up and they're fucking bosses. It's incredible. So it's really, really good. I was really happy to see that. But
you are getting to the point where shit hits the fan, and once shit hits the fan, it just goes really fast and really heavy for like 4 hours straight.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta strap in. I gotta strap in.
Oh yeah. Shit ton of revelations all the way to the end. And the end is one of the best endings in all of video games. It is.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like that. I was watching the end and I was holding on to my couch, like holding on to it, like I was gonna get ripped off of it, breathing heavy, trying to hold in the tears from the ending. It was fucking incredible.
That's amazing. See, now, Will, you have to play it. If Chris says that means you have to play it, Will.
Look, much respect to you, Chris. I cannot step foot in Yakuza. I don't have enough time to play the short games that I want. And then I know if I start Yakuza 1, I'm going to be doing karaoke for 50 hours. So I'm not even going to beat the game.
But think about it this way. Think about it this way.
I'm going to be like, I want to go back and play all of them now.
Exactly. Well, but
all 11
but
Yakuza
if you start
games.
playing the Yakuza franchise and Nikaro, she's learning language, she's going to become a polyglot in no time. She's going to know English. She's going to know she's going to know Japanese, right?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Also,
I'm going to make people upset because I'm going to play it in English.
No, you're not.
I mean, their faces both drop.
I refuse to allow. I'll take your Xbox away from you if you start playing in English. Be like, Yakuza privilege is revoked.
If the voice acting in English was bad, then I would chastise you, but it's actually good. So
nice. I'm excited to listen to Young Ye voice Kiryu. So it's going to be fun.
But no, dude, if I would say just try one of them, pick one of them and try them out. They are incredible. Just to tell you.
I'm going to do Lost Judgment.
Yes, play that too. That game is fucking great.
That way I won't feel obligated to like join the because if I do Yakuza any number, then I'm going to be like, damn, I got to go play all the Yakuza games now. But if I just do the side Lost Judgment, I can be like, oh, this is contained. I don't have to jump into the main line. I don't have to inject it into my veins now.
So like I spent like 2 hours over the weekend just playing pool in Yakuza. That's my happens. Life. It's like
I just feel like that in Red Dead Redemption. I'd be playing Liar's Dice for like 2 hours. Or I'd be playing Texas Hold'em. I'm like, this is a shoot 'em, root 'em, toot 'em cowboy game, and I'm gambling.
Right.
I have to stop.
Right. Like I went in. So it started off because I got pulled into a side quest where you race stock cars. And then I needed a specific part that I could only get at the pool hall. So I went to the pool hall to get the part, and I just stayed there for 2 hours playing pool. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I came here to get a car part. I got the car part and went back to keep racing little stock cars. The game is crazy. It's so good.
Yeah. It is really neat, though. So interesting. Every time I see it, every time I see something new about that game, especially, Nick, the thing that really made me look at 7, which I was like, oh, I might want to play this in the future, which, once again, glad I didn't because all my life gone. But the summons with your phone when you bring is that Nancy-chan? The little, was it a little shrimp or a little lobster?
She's a crustacean. She's the crawdad. She's a crawdad is what she is.
Crustacean annihilation.
Crustacean damnation.
Their damnation. There you go. Oh,
it's just,
so cool.
I love it so much because like they make it clear from the beginning at Yakuza 7, and this is where it was a realization for me because I thought Yakuza was going to be a little bit closer in terms of the way the combat was working. I always heard it was a beat 'em up game, so I thought it was going to be kind of like the Arkham Asylum games in terms of, you know, punch, block, counter, or something like that. And from what I understand, the earlier game combat systems are like that. But what they did that was really interesting about 7 is that they made it to where Ichiban was a huge fan of Dragon Quest. Like Dragon Quest was his favorite video game franchise. And they literally just made a Dragon Quest game in the Yakuza world. That's all it is. But it's in the real life sim. So, you know, all of your heroes, you have your magician who's the homeless man, and then your idol who's basically just your healer support class and all of that. So it's really, really good in the way that they kind of make these changes and connections to traditional JRPG games in that genre. So it's amazing. I couldn't be happier with it. And yeah, like you said, you said pool in the game. I've been at the batting center for probably 5 to 8 hours, just hitting balls at the old batting rink, trying to get the S tier on all of the different challenges. I'm like, okay, I need to stop. This is not healthy.
All to get the golden
This is not
bat.
good. Yeah. Well, I was mainly doing it to train so I could get enough of the points at the batting center to get the Yakuza gear that would give me 2 times XP from my battles. So it's a little bit of big brain hacking right there. But no, it was really fun. I love that series.
It's such a great series, and 7 is just, not only is it a great Yakuza game, it's an amazing RPG as well. It's like what I want to say, like, this is what turn-based RPGs would have evolved into, because it's turn-based, but it's fast. So you're not going to be sitting there for minutes on end just issuing commands. No, it's quick and snappy, and like you will start a fight, and the fight will not last a minute.
And
because
like the thing
it's
is
so
that,
fast.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too because it's the interesting thing is that Final Fantasy VII Remake, they came out like around the same time, so I doubt either of them were really inspired by each other, but they do really similar things where they take this idea of turn-based combat, but it's in a live action environment where whenever you choose to make the action or you choose to do the different command or magic spell or whatever you need to do in that action, depending on where the enemies are, it can affect how you damage them or if you'll even hit them at all. And the cool thing about Yakuza is that like it's all contextual and relevant to the environment that the players are in. So if there's a bicycle that's laying on the ground next to the enemy that you choose to attack, and you're going to do like a bat buster attack with Ichiban, he'll literally go and pick up the bike and slam it on the enemy and then do his second attack. So it's so cool how it's like it's multi-layered in the type of systems. And this just goes to show that people who want to sit out there and be like, turn-based games are dead, turn-based games are boring, like, go educate yourself, get cultured, play some damn Yakuza, right?
It's great. Someday we'll play it, but I don't think that day is today.
Yeah, won't be soon. But like I said, everyone that talks about it talks about how fantastic it is. So I know it's a good series.
And if you want to start with Judgment goes on sale all the time, and I'm going to be honest, it did take me a little bit to get used to the characters, but once I did, it just picked up and went. I got hooked into it.
Really?
Judgment is a very good spin-off of Yakuza.
Okay. Oh, cool.
So I think it's time that we get into Spider-Man, because we've been talking about everything but Spider-Man.
Main topic of the show.
So you guys did a review episode on your show about Spider-Man 2. You guys went deep into the game, talking about the combat, the bugs, the issues that you had, the characters, everything. I still haven't finished the episode, but I did get pretty deep into it. I think I got all the way past when you guys were talking about Harry being double cheeked on a Sunday afternoon.
That's correct.
The boy.
That's correct.
So I didn't have any issues at all with Spider-Man. The game
All right, good.
ran perfect. Everything looked amazing. I didn't have to restart. No issues. Nothing. This game to me was a 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
I know you guys were iffy on it. I know Nick gave it a 7 and Will, you gave it an 8.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought
Please
Will was going to be
elaborate.
much higher. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought Will was going to be much higher than me when we recorded, and he ended up being closer than I imagined. Still, I think a little bit higher. I think the difference between we've like continued to talk about this in like our review and like our thoughts about the game. I think the difference is that Will did a better job than I did of managing his expectations of what he was going to experience. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Will, at all, but like I feel like that was the end result, where for me, coming off of Miles Morales and being it kind of this surreal, like really, really quick, amazing, intense, emotional experience that followed up on kind of like the incredibly profound and just like deeply personal and emotional ending that Spider-Man 1 had in 2018. I was expecting them to take that and iterate it into like a better formula. I was also expecting, I don't know what I was expecting from Insomniac in this game. It was a little bit nebulous, I think, but I just was expecting there to be a lot more in the way of depth. And that's not, and I think that was on me to manage my expectations in that way. And I didn't see as much depth in terms of the story that they were telling, the narrative that they kind of gave us, or and even in some cases the combat that we got the second time around. Even though that system, again, like I don't have any problems with that combat system. It's a super fun game to play. I could play that game for hours if I wanted to, and I continue to live in that world. But it's interesting kind of thinking about it and where I landed on it. And it's tough because I think that if none of these other games that are sitting on, Jeff Keighley game of the year list had come out this year, Spider-Man would probably be a 9.5, 10 out of 10 for me. But when I'm comparing it to what other games have done to iterate and improve on the pre-existing formulas that they came from, I don't know if it stacks up.
That's understandable.
Yep. And that's the thing there too, as far as like with me giving it the 8 out of 10, my 2-point knockoffs really come from two things overall. It's kind of what you can do as the Spider-Man as far as like just the open world stuff, and then the story, because I've talked about it during the recording. Like Nick said, we talked about it kind of separately as well outside of that. The story itself does not stack up to 2018 for me. And part of that is, one, could just be, hey, it's like your kind of fresh first time in 2018. Everything that happened with May, I feel like things that happened with Feast was really, really fresh, and all of that felt good. And then when we got to 2, the story for me didn't really matter that much until you got into more of the Harry stuff. And then that was such a short section, unfortunately. Like you and, being the Spider Pals was awesome. I kind of wish we got like another couple of hours of that, because I would love that back and forth. But it's like it happened. You get one mission with Harry and Pete actually working together. And then from there, things spiral off into Kraven, which is awesome. But that's just another section for me where I'm like, man, Kraven is such a great character. If you just focus on the story, you get like a minuscule amount of Kraven. And I was like, I want more. Like, I really, really want more. This is a game I feel like some other different entertainment properties, tries to put a lot into this package. And I love the fact that it's not a 60/100 hour video game to do everything, but that does hurt it when they're trying to also tell you a story of Venom, trying to tell you a story of Pete and his issues with MJ, trying to tell you a story of Kraven and him wanting to die by somebody's hand, and telling you Miles' story as he goes from, Miles Morales to Spider-Man. And you try to give me all of that within 30 hours. It's just, some things don't necessarily click as much as I wanted them to. So that was said there. And then for the overall open world stuff, that's more nitpicky, but it's really just me being like, oh, I love the Miles Morales missions where you're running around and you're fighting Mysterio, because those are those like kind of horde mode missions. I love the fighting. I wish I could just do those over and over again, but you only can do those as Miles, which I'm like, maybe if I were to beat them all, then it opens it up for Pete to do it. But the game's like, no, you can't. So there are some things that are just locked off to certain characters, which I love the fact that you can play as both Spider-Men, but I kind of wish you could be both Spider-Men in almost anything, unless it was a very specific side mission. Like I get the Flame and Pete. I get the Brooklyn Visions and Miles, but everything else for the most part should really be Spider-Men in general.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I completely get that. After hearing you say that, I do feel the same way. And just for the listeners, we are most definitely going to spoil everything from the game.
Everything,
basically.
Or at least just the major plot points are probably going to get spoiled. So if you guys don't want to get it spoiled, you can hop off now. If not, listen through. But I promise it's going to be a good time because both Nick and Will have some good stuff to say about this game. So to start off, when I played 2018 Spider-Man, I had no idea that it was going to be such an emotional roller coaster, especially towards the end. I saw Dr. Otto Octavius. I did not see him turning into Dr. Octopus at the end of that game. Even though he was there, I thought he was just going to be a character that's there to support Pete. And then maybe in the sequel, he would turn into Dr. Octopus. So when he turned into Dr. Octopus, and then they show you that the entire time he's been scheming to take Norman Osborn down, that hit me hard. And then at the end, Aunt May dying, that hit me even harder. So
that crushed me.
Yeah.
That ending crushed me.
It's so interesting. So, sorry to cut you off, Chris.
You're good.
I do want to touch on a couple of those points though, because that's something that I think that this game that Spider-Man 2 specifically was missing to a degree, because all of the relationships, because Spider-Man has always been about a story about a kid who's lost in a world. His body is changed against his will, and he's lost in a world full of people who want to fucking kill him all the time. And he's kind of grinning and making jokes through it because he doesn't know what else to do because he's just a nervous high schooler. And I think like the difference that it makes is that like this Peter Parker, he's kind of a Chad. He's kind of a cool guy. He's a really cool dude. And then to layer that on top of it, it's like what you were saying about his relationship with the two like main adult mentors that were in his life, Otto Octavius and then Aunt May. Like those performances from the actors and the writing that were in those situations really sold that story in the first one. And then I think about in Spider-Man 2, they didn't really have anybody but the three of them, Harry, Miles, and then Miles, and then MJ, and then of course Pete. I guess four of them all together if you're going to count Harry.
Right.
But primarily it was the discussion. It was a conversation between Pete, Miles, and MJ. And so it's just, I feel like there was a little bit of like they didn't make enough space for there to be a lot of emotion. Like they could have gone harder into Pete and MJ's relationship. They chose not to. They could have had more moments with Pete and Miles, and Pete actually like showing Pete that he's being an active mentor to Miles. And they went in the opposite direction where he kind of just wasn't. And I mean, we all knows that Miles can handle himself, but I still think that there are things that Pete like had learned from his experience in dealing with the Sinister Six that he could impart some wisdom about being Spider-Man in this game, other than you got this, man, fist bump, and then they go off to do their own thing, right? That's where I feel like the crux of it is the adult relationships were gone.
Right. Because in the first one, you had Pete dealing with those two heavy losses, one right after the other. And then after it's all said and done, he still has to be Spider-Man. So he still has to wear the mask and go be the hero that he is. In Miles Morales, I liked the game, but I wouldn't say that I loved it. I came into Spider-Man 2018 hating Miles because everything that I knew from Miles before I started the game was that his tragic backstory is that my dad loves me. So once I started seeing this kid and seeing how he really is as a person, and then seeing him lose his dad and then becoming Spider-Man, I was excited for Miles Morales. I liked the game. I really didn't feel a connection between him and his uncle, him and his childhood best friend, and her sacrificing herself to save him and the city. But I still thought the game was great, and there were really good moments in the game. Spider-Man 2, I loved the entire journey. The ending was like any other Marvel movie ending, you know. Pete retires, Miles still going to be Spider-Man, passing on the torch to a new generation. I thought that was fine. It didn't hit any emotional moments, but everything in the story till that point, from the beginning till the end, I liked it. It made sense to me. It's what I wanted from a Spider-Man story. I don't know if it clicks with you guys the way that it did for me, but you know, being able to play as either Spider-Man, doing the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man missions, doing the Emily May Foundation missions, learning about this universe's Harry's relationship with Peter and MJ. It all just it gave me what I wanted from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, the only thing that made me sad too there, especially when you mentioned like the MJ Pete Harry story, I feel like that game, especially Spider-Man 2, told me a lot. Like, okay, we had a full-on mission where you're playing as young Pete and you're playing as running around with young Harry, and you're going sneaking and doing things. So you can see that they're friends. They have many conversations together. That's all there. Apparently, MJ is also like a part of this trio, but I don't recall getting too much in depth as far as like, oh, remember when the three of us used to like hang out together and do this? There's a little bit of that in 2018. If anything, I think I'd probably see more from when you're like sneaking around the Osborn mansion of the three of them hanging out than you actually see in Spider-Man 2, aside from when we go to the park and we're all hanging out together at the park. But like, aside from that, I'm like, okay, where's like the trio? It's really Pete and Harry, which I'm fine with, but they kind of hype it up that it's like the three of them, and that definitely ties back in with MJ later on and turning into Scream, you know, Harry coming and hanging out with her and getting close enough to make that transformation happen.
right.
But things that they showed me during Spider-Man 2, I'm like, I don't really know if the three of y'all click like that outside of you telling me that the three of y'all click like that.
Right. And I don't think, at least for this universe, that it would have been like a high school thing. I think it might have been more like a college thing, like post high school, when they all maybe started hanging out together, because at some points it did feel like Harry and Pete just want to hang out. Mary Jane, please go away.
Yeah, it's like you're just kind of here, MJ. Like, don't you go have a podcast to record?
God, one take Watson, the one take wonder, you know. So it's really interesting. Goo made this comment on our show on the review for Spider-Man 2, and I went back and I did listen to some interviews that Brian and Sahar did, but they made a very specific point of them wanting to, and this was the conversation that they had. I mean, we can jump right into it, but like the fact that MJ is a playable character in this game. You go through not one, not two, but three separate missions playing as the one and only MJ. Yeah, I'm not probably being sarcastic enough, but I can turn the dial up a little bit more on it. But
what do you mean? You being sarcastic about MJ Wick? What are you talking about? What's going on here?
You know how I feel about Mrs. Wick. I think like they said that they wanted to make it a trio. They wanted to make it a conversation, a story about the three of them, Miles, MJ, and Pete, and they wanted to focus on that concept because the three of them are like the three prongs of Spider-Man being a hero in New York City, and she's the guy in the chair, and the two of them are the ones that are out, you know, on the field doing the operations. And I think it's a really interesting reason to want to bring her back in and want to make her a playable character. I just like the thing, like it resonates and is exactly like the joke that Will made when people were complaining, oh, I'm Spider-Man, like, but I can't get on the train, I can't go to bodega and get a chopped cheese. People out here that want to play Spider-Man 2, they just want to be man too, like he said, to steal Will's joke. Like they don't like what are we looking for in this game? But the same logic, I think, applies to the fact that we're playing MJ and we're playing her three separate times in a game that's called Spider-Man 2. I don't have a problem when gameplay designers want to create different iterations of in-universe characters where they want to give somebody a change of pace. They want to switch up the gameplay if the game is really soul-crushing and hard and you just went through a really heavy emotional scene and they're like, hey, here, go jump in a Warthog and go drive around a little bit after you did that really intense, combat section, right? But playing as MJ, like, it doesn't support the experience of being Spider-Man. If they were to do something crazy like pop up and you're the Prowler and you're going through and, like, assuming, this is a universe where Miles's uncle is alive still, right? And, do something like that. I mean, there's a limitless number of playable characters that you can do. And they did try to do that a little bit later in this game, but I think the effect of it didn't really have the same feeling as if it were just that, as if you were to kind of not bury the lead, as if you were just playing as Venom, because you go through the entire game playing as Spider-Man and all of a sudden, boom, you're juicy daddy Venom. I feel like that gives you a different effect from a player perspective versus, all right, here's another MJ mission. Let me go knock out these hunters. Here we go. Am I loading that?
I like the MJ missions. Did they add anything to this story? Not really, because her her whole thing could have been an audio log. Oh, I found the data while you're swinging to the Sioux to save her. It could have been her whole part. I liked it gameplay wise because it felt good to stun people in the neck with a stun gun after her Silver Sable training. And then by the end, each mission, like, she gets progressively better. She's a little bit better in the second one. And then in the third one, she's fucking John Wick taking down symbiotes left and
just
right.
a third person shooter in the last one. Yeah.
Right. like I saw that the camera went behind MJ and I'm going to control her. I'm like, is MJ back? And she's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm so fucking back right now. We are so back right now. Yeah. So I want you both to, like, check me. And I love that you said that you don't mind the MJ missions. I didn't mind them either, if I'm being real. They were more annoying to me. They're more annoying to me to even think about retrospectively than it was for me to sit there and just play through the mission. They go really quickly. Her gun is great. Like, knocking out hunters left and right. The fact that she, they fit it into the lore canonically that she trained with Sable in order to gain these skills, in order to take out these highly trained operatives that are Craven hunters, right? So it makes sense, but I also feel like it's a little bit of, like, tokenism diversity that they wanted to include in this game. Oh, what if there's a little girls out there who love Spider-Man? All of a sudden they get to play as MJ in the game and they feel like represented. Except I don't necessarily. I feel like that's a flawed logic path, because I wouldn't necessarily think that little girls that are playing the game want to pick up Spider-Man so they can pretend to be a girl. I mean, unless they're going to make Spider-Man. I mean, Cindy Moon clearly is going to be in the next game, right? For massive spoilers to people who haven't actually finished the game yet. But I feel like, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I feel like that people who pick up this game want to play as Spider-Man, and I just don't think that. I don't know what the logic path was to include her.
I hated more playing as Miles in the first game than I did playing as MJ in this game.
Yeah,
I can see that for sure.
I hated playing as MJ just as much as I hated playing as Miles. Both
in the first game.
In the first game. But in this one,
it was just all stealth.
In this one, it's like I said, her whole mission, getting the data, could have been an audio log while you're swinging to the Sioux. I don't remember her second one. No, her second one is her running from Spider-Man in the tunnel.
Yeah, it's like during the like at May's house when the hunters attack you, and then it's like all dark and stormy, and Pete's going all ape shit in the background while you're, like, running through the hunters that are coming for him.
Right. So I like that one because that kind of made her character realize some things that she should have realized a long time ago. And then the third time is her just saving the day because, everybody's got a part to play at the end of the story, which to me, it was fine. I didn't hate it. The first one felt unnecessary, but, and then them saying that she trained with Silver Sable, it kind of feels like they're covering their asses of we fixed the
100%
gameplay.
covered.
So
100%.
Let's make an in-universe explanation for why she can fight now.
Right.
They definitely thought, okay, let's give Mary Jane a gun. They're like, wait, damn, How does she train? Oh, wait a minute. Didn't she go with Pete to Sokovia? Okay, good. Perfect. Let's just say that she trained with them while she was there for like 3 weeks.
Right.
Sweet. Now she can start pulling. But I would say to your point, Nick, it doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, here's a girls want to play as like a girl and have some fun there. People have talked about that in kind of different entertainment mediums. I feel like one of the more egregious ones that people will point out to would be something like Endgame, right? Where it's like the all girl scene where they're kind of fighting over the gauntlet. So people would look to that one and be like, oh, this is like a girl power pandering moment. I still like that moment. I could see when people say that.
I thought that moment was cool too.
I thought it was neat. But I would say, I look at this Spider-Man moment and I don't see it as like, they're pandering to girls. They want like little girls or women, whatever, to feel like empowered by Mary Jane having more strength or being able to shoot. It's really, this is something they introduced in that first game, like in those interviews that you're talking about here and that Goo was talking about. They want Mary Jane to be involved in the story and not just be, the Oracle.
Yeah.
They don't want her to be an Oracle. They don't want her to be a damsel. They want her to have agency. So in order to do that, she has to be involved in the story. And the first one, she was just a reporter and she didn't know how to fight, didn't know how to stop. So the best she could do is sneak in and get things, which gave her agency, allowed her to help Spider-Man at times when he needed help. And then in this one, now it's like the evolved version. She knows how to handle herself a little bit better. She can fight. She apparently gets shot with trank darts and then pulls them out of her like a G when poor Miles gets tranked in the back and then passes out immediately. So I don't know what kind of spinach she's eating, but Mary Jane, I need the stack.
She's sipping on the silver sable juice right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But they just wanted to increase what she can do, her agency in the story, and especially because this is seemingly Pete's last rodeo for a bit. You have MJ and you have Pete. If you're going to be taking Pete out of commission for a little while, I highly doubt in Spider-Man 3, if we were to be playing as Miles most of the time, we are going to get an MJ mission. Yeah. So they wanted to make sure that she had like a kind of good send-off as far as what she was doing.
And this might be the person that I am. Whenever I eat my food, I don't like my peas to be mixed in with my mashed potatoes, right? I don't like when food gets mixed up in the tray. And that's exactly what Spider-Man 2 kind of did with the different characters that you're playing as and the way that they tried to diversify the combat. With Pete and Miles, it's fine because you're playing as the same rig, right? It's just different powers and they're friends, and it canonically makes sense because they're both literally Spider-Man. I think like for me, if I were to approach it, if I were sitting in the creative room, I would have been more of an advocate for be like, do you really want to get MJ involved? Why not wait for Spider-Man 2 to come out, have it be a purely Pete, Miles, surprise Venom experience at the very end, and then let's come out with a 15 to 20 hour MJ third-person shooter experience, and then people can learn, and they put really cool lore stuff in there, and really cool, and so you know what you're expecting, you know what you're getting into, and it doesn't interrupt the flow of gameplay. For me personally, I think that's the direction that I would go with it. But of course, I'm not paid by Insomniac. I don't make the big bucks quite yet.
Yet.
That's the operative word, right? But yeah, so I will say again, like, I know I don't want to sound like to your listeners that I'm coming like really hard on MJ again, like, because their missions were fine. It's just, it's just another point in my bulleted list of why Spider-Man 2, I feel like, missed the mark, because it was the misconception of the theory of including her in this game, I think, is where that kind of starts to build up a little bit of distrust for me when it comes to thinking about what Insomniac is doing in the narrative decisions that they're making on the show. And I just think that if we're going to go and we're going to continue to have a Spider-Man 3, what does that mean? And are all the players going to be action playable characters that are going to kind of, feel like we're in a Spider-Man game? I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting, thinking about what Spider-Man 3 is going to be. It inevitably, there has to be a Spider-Man 3, because you just gave us Miles as the brand new hero of New York, and you introduced, what's her name, Silk, at the end.
Yep, Cindy Moon. Yep.
At the end of the game. I mean, there is so much potential there for both Miles and her to fuck up shit royally and like fucking destroy New York and then have to fix it, that it would make a very interesting story, because she doesn't know how to be a Spider-Man, and he doesn't know how to teach how to be a Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's true.
and if we're gonna play Monday Night Football as well and look back on the game and like different iterations you were making, I freaking loved the side story, the burning quests. I forget
Yeah,
what
the
the flame
yeah.
side quests with Peter as he was going through and figuring out what happened to Yuri and what actually happened to her character. I would have loved to play Yuri in this game, and in fact, she came up in the open world when they had like those open world events where some of the heroes come in and help you out while you're beating up some of the baddies. She showed up in my game more than Miles actually did in some of those open world situations, which I thought was interesting. But I would have 1,000,000% much more enjoyed like if they just swapped out her and like included her in the main story and just wove the whole like Cletus Cassidy story into like the main plot thread, and then we get a change of pace, we get to switch it up, a new set of powers, jumping in as a fully leveled up Yuri with her cool size. That would have been 10 out of 10. I would have loved it, but you know they went the direction they did, so that's kind of what we got.
I think that's probably going to get wrapped up in a DLC. I hope, and I hope they do better than they did for The City That Never Sleeps. Because The City That Never Sleeps fucking
that
sucked. That shit was
it
terrible.
bad? I forgot what that was. What was the whole point? Was that Hammerhead? Was that his whole thing?
Yeah, with Hammerhead and Black Cat.
And
Black Cat parts were great.
Ball,
The Hammerhead
Cue
parts,
Ball,
not
whatever
so much.
the fucking streamer bad guy.
Oh, Screwball, yeah,
Oh,
she was the worst.
Fucking
Oh yeah,
kill
for
me
sure.
for that shit.
She was terrible.
Any
That
scene
was
with Black
awful.
Cat in it is great. Anytime you get to see Felicia,
yeah.
Felicia Hardy
this guy.
is fantastic.
Oh yeah, that whole scene where you're chasing her and she's using the staff to open
The Wand of Agamotto,
It's one of my favorite
shit, that
moments.
was awesome.
It's one of my favorite moments. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
flying through Antarctica. I'm like, okay, I'm like this is happening.
This is happening.
They were like,
right
we
now.
just want to. They just want to flex the SSD.
Yeah.
Right.
They were like, let's go ahead and do a little rift apart action.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man Rift Apart 2.
Like you didn't have enough of this in Ratchet and Clank. Here's some more.
Mm-hmm.
So before we move on from the MJ being playable, that second part of MJ when Spider-Man's destroying shit and he's chasing you and terrorizing you, that shit was awesome. I feel like there's a lot of potential there for a horror game where the crazy superhero is chasing you and if he catches you, he's going to rip you in half.
Oh, you're talking about when he was fully taken over by the symbiote for that very brief period, and she was tracking him through the housing developments. Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. There was a lot of scenery in that one that was like very visually striking too.
Mm-hmm.
That to me,
it's all good though. You know when.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a joke. So no, you go. mine was inconsequential.
No, so I was just gonna say, just hearing Spider-Man like take a bound from behind you, and you turn around and you just see like the dust from where he was, as just like spine tingling. It was really good. So
And you're getting those classic horror movie moments of like a hunter, you know, oh god, please, getting like drug around a corner by the Spidey tendrils. I'm like,
right.
uh-oh, I'm in danger.
This is bad. This is bad. It's all bad.
But I gotta say, you know, Nick, you gotta look forward to Spider-Man 3. You're gonna be getting Miles as your main Spider-Man, but then of course they have to fill the MJ missions with something. So you're gonna get some more missions where you're playing as Haley and you're spray painting walls, but you can't hear anything because you're deaf. So just understand you're gonna get that 3 times.
That was
now
like
instead of
5
once.
minutes. That is not as egregious as MJ's missions. That was. It was
Oh no,
like,
they're gonna make it longer.
Oh God, Brian Intihar, I'm coming for your fucking job. You read my words, God damn it! I'll find you and Carrie. I know where Insomniac's offices are.
Oh, I hope they don't do that. I really hope they don't.
See, now you're like, wait a minute, hold on, they might.
Right.
They're definitely going
man.
to. It just so it's really interesting too. I'm really curious, Chris, to think about. I thought that this game was beautiful. I thought it was really, really pretty. I think it's some of the best that we've ever seen. However, there were parts in terms of the presentation, the overall presentation, and specifically my biggest gripe is with the way that they did the character models. How did you feel about the way that each of the characters looked in the game? Outside of the Spider-Man and the spider suits. Outside of that.
I've been holding on to this joke for as long as I've finished playing this game.
Lay it on us.
Peter, okay. Have you guys seen Men in Black 1? The first Men in Black?
Yes. Yep.
Peter looks like when Ed pulls his head back and goes like, "Is that better?" That's what.
Oh no, Vincent D'Onofrio, no.
That's what Peter looks like to me when he's out of spider suit.
Sugar.
He looks
Water.
he looks fucking horrible. He looks so bad. Like I don't know what the whole deal was with changing his character model from the base 2018. They fucked up, man. They really fucked up with the way this new Peter looks.
I'm glad you're with the crew. I'm glad you're with the crew where we're 2018 Spider-Man faces.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I don't know what technology that they use, or if there was different technology used from the original mocaption, like the original build or the original character design that they had for Pete in the base vanilla 2018 launch. And of course, when Spider-Man Remastered came out, we got the new look for Peter. But even the look between the new Peter and Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man 2 Peter, still very different. He's got a different haircut. He's got a different like jawline and kind of facial profile. It's minor, but it is strikingly different between the two characters. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this Peter like a third revision for the character? Because wasn't there like a second one that was a mix of like Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire?
That's what I was talking about with the Spider-Man Remastered one.
Okay.
So if you went
All
back
right.
and you played Spider-Man 2018 when they remastered it for the PS5, that is when we got like the official new look for Peter, and he is closer to what people imagine being like Tom Holland Spider-Man. He does look kind of in that same aesthetic. But at the same time, like, I didn't have a problem with the way it looked in Spider-Man Remastered. I thought like the rigs and the modeling and the mocaption work looked great. But for this one, I felt like everybody had their teeth disconnected from their skeletal rig. Like everybody was wearing dentures. Like I could see where like there were lines that didn't quite connect between their lips and their teeth. And I was like, oh, that looks kind of janky. And I was looking at that. But then even more than that, it's just I feel like the person who did the motion caption work in the acting in the original 2018 Spider-Man, I guess the character design that they had for him, he just was really expressive, and he suited Yuri Lowenthal's voice a lot more than what I think the new Pete does. And that's a personal taste. That's very much a me/Will/Chris problem, I guess. But I feel like it doesn't suit his character. Like, I think Pete has always been kind of a sad guy. Like his character arc, especially if you've read the Marvel Spider-Man the Ultimate Universe, like his character arc is really, really sad in what he goes through. And if you break it down and you think about it, he just goes from one series of traumatic events to another. And the same is true technically for Marvel Spider-Man, although the tone is much lighter. And I just think that like for that first one, and kind of remembering like what I felt with his character, is that he portrayed that sadness much better than this new actor did.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Yeah. And the teeth thing, I didn't notice anything. Although now that I think about it, Harry did have a particularly bright smile. Like every time Harry showed up, it's like the sun was shining. He was just like a beautiful man showing up every single time. I fucking loved Harry. And
my man's hitting the white strips.
I'm sorry?
So my man's hitting the crest white strips.
Yeah. Like I was borderline rooting for Peter to dump MJ for Harry, because he was just he was the fucking man whenever he was on screen. Like I was dreading the entire game him turning into a bad guy or dying from his sickness or whatever, because these games are not entirely connected to the comics. They are adjacent, so they're kind of following the steps, but not really, so anything can happen to these characters. And I was just fearing for Harry the entire time, even when he was helping you in the symbiote suit. I was like, please don't die here, please. Don't
stay
die.
back.
Yeah. Chris, I have a question for you really quick. Do you know who the voice actor was for Mary Jane Watson?
I know you said Laura Bailey.
Yeah, it's fucking Laura Bailey. How criminally underused she was in this game. That's what I'm saying, is that like you have Laura Bailey, you have this like S tier voice actress who is in the gaming industry. She's been in gaming for a long time. I never once when I was playing The Last of Us Part 2 forgot that Abby was Laura Bailey. Not once. And I feel like that in terms of thinking about the way that MJ was portrayed here, it's just like she wasn't present enough. And even when she was present, even when she was a playable character, I didn't get that Laura Bailey sauce that I was kind of looking for. And it's like, why waste that? Why waste that just massive, impressive talent on something that is going to be as inconsequential as that? I mean, I was even going back and trying to think about the moments when she was playing as Scream. But even when MJ becomes Scream due to like what Harry was doing, I think like obviously the voice modulation and, you know, when a person becomes a symbiote or gets consumed by a symbiote, of course they're going to sound like Venom or going to sound like the female iteration of Venom. I'm just sitting here like wondering like what different direction could Laura have gone? Or again, like it just doubles down. I'm doubling down on my point where like she might have deserved her own game if they really, really wanted to do that. But
I think that the best part she had in that entire game was when she turned into Scream, because even though there's a lot of modulation, you still have to do a lot of fucking work to turn into a symbiote. There's a lot of throat work. So
yeah, definitely. And I will say I agree with you 100% that Harry was actually my favorite characters. I have it written down in our doc here whenever I made the original show, but I think my favorite characters, the best in class for me, was Harry, Rio Morales, Norman Osborn, and Craven. I thought that they were the standout performances of this game, and they really sold the scenes that they were in and the experiences that you're having. Like Harry, it kind of like the James Franco Harry Osborn, of course, is very different in their Sam Raimi movies, so it's apples and oranges. You shouldn't compare them. But I think like the Harry this time really sold the idea for me at the beginning. Is like, oh, this guy, he really does want to be a good person. He really is going to be an altruist. I never for a second thought that there was an ulterior motive that Harry had, which I thought made his character arc even that much more tragic.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like these veer off so far from the comics that I couldn't see him turning into Venom. I thought Venom was going to be some last minute third party inclusion that they were going to throw in. I even thought that Raven was going to turn into Venom for a second. Craven.
That's actually. I love that you say that, because that was what mine was, because I'm thinking about like when Harry had the symbiote suit originally on and he's going through like those sections that Will really liked where they were, you know, doing the spider pals and all of that the fun moments when we had those. I was like, oh, but like Venom is like he's juiced up. Gigantic. Like he's massive. So either he has to like the symbiote has to either consume Craven or the symbiote has to consume the lizard, and they were leaning really, really heavily into the Kurt Connors lizard thing at the very beginning. And I was like, oh, that would really make sense in my mind, because if he consumed the lizard, awesome. That would have been so fucking cool, right? Like, because he has the brains of Kurt Connors inside of him, but he's this massive hulking monster, and that's where we get Venom at the end of the day. So, but we got to stay true. We got to stay true to the canon, I guess, of what happens with Venom.
If that's true, then give me Eddie Brock, you cowards! Right? Give me Eddie Brock.
Yeah, and I will recant. I thought that, like, I told Will, I can't remember specifically the words that I used, but I was just very meh on Venom and like the character arc as a whole. Like, I think I said that they took the direction with Venom in this game a very serious, like he's a scary, terrifying, bad Venom. He's bad. He's not jokey Venom from the Sony movies that they made. Like, and then Will was like, no, hold on, hang up, so hold up a minute, brother, because Venom is funny as hell in the Amazing Spider-Man cartoons. He's fucking regularly dunking on Pete, and I desperately wish we had more of that in this game, because that would have warmed my heart if we had it.
You remember the Neversoft Spider-Man game when Peter and Venom team up, and Venom is like, "Oh, I kidnapped MJ because I thought you were the bad guy," and Peter's like, "I'm gonna kill you." MJ screams at Peter, and Venom's like, "Ooh, you're in the doghouse now."
Yeah, you're in the doghouse.
It's like, surf the web, surf the web, surf the web.
So you get fun stuff like that, like those older games, and of course the comics. And I was like, I would have loved, especially, I feel like they had such an opportune moment to do something like that, because I'm still a little upset about it too. It's another reason, one, story, as far as the ding for me. They tied the symbiote twisting Harry's idea of healing the world and made it, kind of like we're going to conquer the world by covering the world into a symbiote. It's not necessarily that was poor, but if you have something like Venom, which historically Venom, as that symbiote tied together with Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock also hates Pete, the symbiote feels slighted from Pete/Spider-Man, getting rid of them. I'm like, they have that personal vendetta against Spider-Man, which makes him such a scarier character, which makes him such a better foil, because it's like, hey, I'm not trying to take over the world. I'm not putting a blue beam of light to destroy the planet. I'm coming for you, Spidey. You can't even see me because every time I attack you, I've been with you before. I've been bonded, and your spider sense doesn't work on me, making me even scarier as an opponent. So the fact that it went from that, they have Harry, who now is disliking Pete because he's killing him in his eyes. He's not giving him the suit back. And then he wants to destroy the suit, which only kept him alive up to that point. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect time to be like, Pete, this is a personal vendetta. Me and the symbiote versus you, us, right? Us as Venom versus you. And they were like, actually, I'm going to heal the world. I'm like, oh no, it was right there. You threw it away. You threw it away.
Man,
Yeah,
I think I almost feel like the game suffers from the same syndrome that the third Spider-Man movie suffered from. There's
Absolutely.
too many characters, too many stories going on at the same
there's a
time,
lot.
and there's not enough time to tell them all.
Agreed.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, if you want to throw like a million enemies, a million different antagonists into one game, like this is like a very easy lesson that they could have learned. I'm 100% sure that like most of the devs on this team have watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I'm sure it was like required reading when you get hired. You sign an agreement. I watch every single piece of Spider-Man content that's out there before I start working on this game, or at least as an artist, I feel like that's what would be the natural thing to do. But yeah, you said it perfectly, Chris. Like they don't have enough time to tell the stories for them to draw out any type of emotional resonance. Like I didn't feel anything when Kraven got snapped in half, got fucking chomped on by Venom, because like I got some audio logs of him talking to his kids, and he just wants somebody to actually kill him, actually murder him. Here's a question. Do you think that Venom was satisfied being murdered by Venom, or did you think he was going to win that fight?
Oh, Kraven being killed by Venom?
Yeah.
He probably was satisfied.
He was satisfied. During the
yeah.
fight, he was satisfied.
Yeah,
Really?
I think he was happy being killed by Venom. But honestly, I probably don't know enough about Kraven, but Kraven to me is just like a nothing villain. He is another flavor of the week supervillain, in my eyes at least. So him being like the reason why all this bad shit is happening in New York, and why all these monsters, the lizard is coming back and they're killing all of the supervillains and whatever. Like, I get it. I think his team of hunters was more interesting than him. Because at the end of the day,
really?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it boils down to Kraven has cancer. He doesn't want to die in a bed. He wants to die fighting. And he killed all of his kids because they weren't good enough in his eyes. They couldn't survive whatever he threw at them. It just felt like he just stayed in the same spot he was before I played the game, like in an F tier villain for Spider-Man.
Wow, F tier, that's pretty low. I thought that it was cool. Like I always appreciate Kraven. Like I'll agree with you to the extent where like he's not the most impressive or iconic supervillain in Spider-Man's rogues gallery for his franchise, but I will say I really appreciate how they play him as I really like it when they play a villain as being super intelligent, as being hyper aware of their environment, hyper aware of themselves and what they're doing when they're fighting. And I think that they kind of pulled that off with Kraven. Kraven, he did work for me. I just felt like his story was tired. Like it was really tired. Like there weren't enough emotional key moments for me to truly resonate with him. And that's what they do the best with like great villains, when you're like, I kind of understand what they're coming from.
Right.
I mean, they did that with Dr. Octavius. They did that a little bit with with Troy Baker when he was the Roxxon president, I think in Miles Morales. And I just think that, again, boiling back to your original point, They didn't. If Spider-Man 2 was gonna be a Craven game, it should have just been Craven and not Venom. But it was both. It ended up being both plus villain plus Cletus Cassidy and Lizard Man and all of that too. So it's hard to unravel.
And there's like a couple of things about Craven that bothered me. The first one is that every time he showed up at the worst fucking possible moment, and he wasn't even a threat. He was just a nuisance because Peter was so hyped up on his Venom suit that he was just out for blood the entire time. So Craven would just show up and make it hard for Peter to do whatever he had to do. Then the second one, I don't know how I feel about fighting a guy with cancer. Even if he's got superpowers, he's way stronger than me. He's a mountain of muscles. And even though he can kick my ass, I still don't know how I feel about that. Like I feel like I'm gonna lose either way if I fight this dude. And what if Venom never happened? What was gonna be the end of that story? Oh.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if like they brought his family over to New York and like we see the disaster that strikes Manhattan / like pretty much all of New York. That was instead the Venom hive mind kind of taking control and sprouting up different various Venom towers over throughout the city. I think like if it would be interesting if this became like more similar to like a Daredevil turf war where each of the family members are each like trying to go at each other's throats / and kill Venom at the end of the day. And it's a matter of Pete and Miles trying to team up and fight this incredibly intelligent, violent family. I think that would have been cool. But it's really interesting to wonder kind of like what if and in some of those other aspects of what we got in that. I don't necessarily see. The thing is that when you're that smart and you have that many resources, you're gonna get these hands. Like cancer or not, it's gonna be on site for somebody like Craven. Like I really don't have any personal qualms about doing that. But as if I'm thinking from Peter's perspective,
that idea.
Yeah,
I like. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really like that idea of like having the family take over different boroughs and then go as far of making Craven a threat and a promise, and in the end, once it's like, oh, Craven's coming, no, he's been dead the entire time. So you've been like building the entire game this image of a boogeyman. And how terrible he is, and at the end, it never was there. Like there was never any real danger. It was just like he was a martyr, basically, for the terror his family was causing. I think that would have been a whole lot more interesting than Craven just wants to die in a fist fight.
Yeah, I really want somebody to kill me. Somebody strong enough to kill me, right?
I would have liked the family a lot better than the hunter blinds and then going to the hunter bases that we got, because those all felt very much like, okay,
checklist.
Do the blinds.
Yep.
I think there were maybe like 2 or 3 blinds that weren't just beat all the enemies. Like there was one with a bunch of lasers.
Yeah, I like that one. I will say,
like that was cool, but they're just so few and far in between. Like normally it's just beat the hell out of a bunch of bad guys, go to the base, beat even more bad guys, and then you hear that audio log from the family. I would have much rather maybe you do the blinds, and then when you go to the bases, there's the mini boss is one of the family members.
Exactly.
And you fight them.
And that's what I thought was going to happen. I literally thought they like queued it up for them to all of a sudden show up, and then the new type of enemy is just, little Vinny Craven, who shows up. But sorry, I made you cringe there, Will.
But forget about
it. I'm going to kill you and my dad too. I think like, something that I will say about this that I felt like was again lacking is the fact that like Peter Parker has always been quippy. Peter Parker has always been slick with it. He's Mr. One-liner, just punchy. He's always joking. He's always cracking jokes, whether or not Venom is slamming him like the Hulk did Loki back and forth, or, Lizard Man is chomping on Mary Jane. He's always making jokes. And for the most part, that was largely missing from Spider-Man 2. Like there wasn't that much like Peter Parker, like jokey, but there was one moment, and it was the moment where you first are introduced to the bear enemy that has the big axe, and he walks in to EMF at the end, and he's like, well, I didn't know there were bears in this woods. And he walks in and the music stops, and he's like, before we get started, I just want you to know I don't have any honey. And then you just bashes him through a wall.
Right through a window, yep.
I thought that was amazing. Like,
That was a good one.
Look, Yuri, he has the chops. He has like pure comedic chops. And I'm just like, give this man something more to work with, right? But yeah,
Yeah, that's just the downside of the black suit storyline is that you're not going to get the quippy Spider-Man. So it's just, unfortunately what they played into there.
Exactly. Yeah, he's going to be like, oh, but where is she? He's going to be the Dark Knight Spider-Man. I'm curious. So, I think you're probably familiar with this, Chris, just like we all are, but they're actively working on Wolverine, right? Insomniac. Yeah. Do you think that the team that they delegated to start doing the production of Wolverine took away from the experience of Spider-Man 2 for you?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
It could be, because I feel like Spider-Man would have benefited for 10 more hours for having 10 more hours of just story to flesh out more of the characters and what they wanted to tell. It did feel a little bit more condensed at the previous games, even though it was the same length as the original game.
Yeah.
But now that you're saying that they are working on Wolverine, and they've been working on it almost simultaneously, then it does kind of make sense that they did pull from the team, and that could have affected the final quality of Spider-Man 2.
Because one of my favorite writers, Mary Kenny, she is credited with writing on Spider-Man 2, but she literally has the same credits and Wolverine. And I don't know, of course, like, who knows what the project management timeline was for Spider-Man 2. Maybe the writing was completely finished before they even got into like some of the hard code production, where they had some of the engineers and the environmental artists come in and do all of the work that they did in this game. So who knows what the actual project timeline really looked like. Maybe I'm overconflating this, and I'm not a PM, so who's to say, who am I to sit here and tell Insomniac how to do their job? Who am I? I'm just a guy, right? But I feel like we've seen like this happen to developers in the past, where they get so successful, they just put out 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s back to back to back, and that's been Insomniac for some time. And of course, it sounds like I got a shitty version of Spider-Man 2. I feel like everybody else didn't have as many problems as I did, but I think that it's concerning, and also at the same time, I really hope that a lot of the people take, like, when Spider-Man 2 is done, I hope a lot of those artists take time off. They rest with their families. They get their time to do it. And if anybody's going to be tasked to jump into Wolverine, that is the only game that Insomniac pours their heart and soul into. Please don't split off and start doing this dual studio thing within Insomniac and start working on the next Ratchet and Clank iteration, because I think that they're one of the premium S-tier Sony developers that can afford to be like, we're working on one game at a time and it's going to be the best game that you've ever seen. And that's kind of where my thought process is with it. Because if they had done that for Spider-Man 2, normally I would disagree with you, Chris, about the whole extra 10 hours. In this case, I completely 10 out of 10 agree with you. If I got 10 extra hours to get to know these characters and get attached to them, it would have made it that much sweeter for me to kind of get through this game.
Because we could have definitely done with a couple more missions of the Spider Pals, have Harry and Miles build a relationship. Because
yes, 100%.
The deepest they went was like, nice to meet you, and then at the end, I just got to beat you up because you're a bad guy. That's their whole interaction the entire game. It could have definitely benefited from that. I'm pretty sure that the whole Cletus Cassidy thing is going to be DLC. It would have been nice to have seen it wrap up.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the game, Peter retires from being Spider-Man for a time being, quote unquote. But he still has that thread of the flame hanging when he quits being Spider-Man. So that's how are they going to handle that in the DLC? Are they going to bring Spider-Man back? Are they just going to have it be Miles? I mean,
yeah, it's going to be some kind of a Yuri hits up Pete and it's like, hey, I found Cletus, and then you end up getting Carnage.
Yeah, right? Like,
that's going to be really.
What are they going to
sick.
do?
That's going to be so cool.
It is. I can't wait for that shit. Carnage, and then they're also talking about making probably a Venom game. they have to introduce
Which I'd
Eddie
be okay
Brock.
with.
If
I've
they're
heard
going to do a
rumor,
Venom game.
yeah.
Yeah, they have to do Andrew Brock for sure.
My question is that like how do you,
Or Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson's also an option.
Thompson's a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
Secret
I'm really
Agent Venom.
wondering though, like, how do you like if they are going to do the Carnage, go the Carnage route? How do you deal with Carnage without the anti-Venom suit? Like, assuming Pete, it's like not in the game and it's like a Miles DLC. Like, how do you think he's going to be able? Do you think Miles is powerful enough with just his like Hadouken energy to knock out Venom by himself, or do you think he like needs Pete for them to take him on together?
I mean, Pete
Well, I mean, he's got
has
the powers from Lee.
He does.
And that was the whole thing that made the anti-Venom suit was Lee's powers. So
that's
those
true.
Latent
That's
kind
true.
of Lee powers still work.
And Pete has taken down Carnage before without any special powers other than the spider bite.
Really? Okay, I had no idea. I guess that's part of the comics is that they were able to deal with that.
I mean, I think most of them have been him and Venom teaming up, but you know, I haven't kept up with comic story, and so I really don't know.
Yeah, that anti-Venom suit is literally just like a video game thing, just like the anti-Ock suit. I was like, you know, traditionally Spider-Man doesn't need a special suit to beat Dr. Ock's ass.
Okay, so it's video game ass
just
video game
hands.
stuff.
Exactly.
There is an anti-Venom, but it's an anti-symbiote, and he's called Toxin.
Interesting.
Yep.
So he's like from the collective, but he doesn't agree with Venom and the rest of the symbiotes.
So
It's a lot.
the symbiotes are fucking weird because they're like each other's dad. So like Venom is Carnage's dad, and then Toxin is Carnage's son's son or something like that. And Carnage hates Toxin because he's weak against him. Like he just being near him is like the effect Kryptonite has on Superman, where it hurts him. So maybe they'll bring in Toxin. That would be fucking weird if they do.
Yeah, that'd be really weird, but it would be interesting. I don't know. There's a lot you can do here to make it fun, and I'll say this right now, with all of my gripes about this game, with all.
Sir, did you cut out? Can you hear us? The mic said you're done slandering Spider-Man. Also, while we're waiting for him to get back in, Chris, with not feeling bad about fighting a guy with cancer. I hope you kept that same energy with Vulture from 2018 Spider-Man. You know that old ass man has cancer too.
No, to me that was just an old man. I didn't know he had cancer.
I was like, nah, he tried to double up on me with Electro. They can both get their asses beat.
They both catching these hands. And then Electro? Who the fuck likes Electro? Electro doesn't even like himself.
Yeah, the stupid Starface. That wasn't even the Jamie Foxx version of Electro.
It wasn't even the cool one. There we go.
The boy is back.
I'm gonna do some magic editing because I want to keep part of that in.
Okay. Good.
What was I talking about again? Was I? That's good. That was a good question.
You said with all your gripes, something. I think you're just gonna come back to like you like the game.
Despite everything that I've said that's kind of come across as a negative with it, I would love to play a DLC for this game, and I am 110% going to play the next game that they come out in this iteration. If they come out with another Miles Morales, similar scope styled game, as well as DLC for Spider-Man 2, I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be playing it. I'm that guy. I'm a Spider-Man dude. So I think that it doesn't negate my love for this character, this franchise, and what Insomniac has done. I think they have done an incredible job overall with the way that they've treated this game. It's just that I think that I personally would have gone a different direction in a lot of decision making that they had here. So that's all I wanted to make sure that it was clear for a novel console listeners.
He doesn't hate the game. He just has feelings about it.
I promise.
I'm
just opinionated, and I can't shut the fuck up.
Now, I'm curious, Chris, have you played Prototype before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fucking love Prototype.
No, Chris. Because Nick, you haven't played Prototype, have you? I don't think you have.
I know about
I don't think
it.
so. But yeah, so that's what I want. If we're going to get either a like DLC, or I'd much rather prefer that kind of middle ground, Miles Morales, smaller version of a game. I want a Venom game where it kind of plays like Prototype, or even better would be a maybe even a fully fleshed out game like Spider-Man 2, but instead of switching between the two Spider-Men, you switch between the two symbiotes and you have Carnage and Venom, and then that plays like Prototype.
That would be amazing.
And I would be like,
that would be so
this
cool.
is awesome. It's going to go cause havoc in New York.
But it's never going to
Picking people up
happen.
and eating them. It's never going to happen.
Never
Ever,
gonna
ever,
happen.
ever.
It would be amazing, but no, they don't give us what we want. So we haven't really talked about Miles. Like I said, the first time I heard about Miles, I immediately hated him. Immediately. First off, he's half Puerto Rican and half black. So to me, that felt like pandering. Immediately. Then they're making him the de facto Spider-Man.
He's always been like his character canonically has been like Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Since inception, that's been his thing. They make him the de facto Spider-Man, and on top of that, like I said, his tragic backstory is that his dad loves him too much. Like, who the fuck is this character for? And then they actually started fleshing him out, rewriting his origin, making him a more likable character in the movies and in the games. And now I love the kid. The kid is fucking great. Now it doesn't feel like pandering. It feels like representation.
Oh, so you were talking
Into the
about the
Spider-Verse.
old school, like when Miles was
Initial
introduced
inception.
to
When
the comics. Okay,
when they
got it.
introduced them back in 2012, 2013, whenever the fuck they introduced them back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated him then.
Yeah. I feel like he's always, and Goo made this point on our show. She was like, wherever there's a universe in which Miles is Spider-Man, Pete has to die. Or in almost every iteration that there has been, with the exception to, Across the Spider-Verse, in the series that Pete usually passes away in that world, or he's just not in the picture at all. So it'd be interesting to see if Insomniac holds true to what they've classically done in the comics or other iterations of Spider-Man. So I'd be interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah. So I like Will, like you said on your review, whenever I could play as Miles, I would play as Miles. I did pretty much everything as Miles. The only time I remembered that you could play as Pete is when they forced me to play as Pete, because he had...
You just played the different Spider-Man. I'm like, wait a minute.
He had the better moveset, the better abilities, and he felt like a kid who he didn't know what he was doing, except that he wanted to do the right thing the entire time. Like the when you do that mission with the old man in front of the lake and you're both sitting on the bench, if you do that as Miles, it's completely different. Like it just brought me back to being in high school and being insecure about talking to this girl that I like, and what do I do? And the old man's just telling me I had an amazing life with my wife. That was fucking fantastic. And I feel like with Peter, it doesn't hit that high note as it does with Miles. Now, the mission with Howard, that shit was rough. I did not like that mission.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't ready for it. And then I was like, oh, is this what all of the FNSM side quests are going to be like? Sign me up right now. Let me do as much. Give me all of them.
Emotionally jarring.
Delicious. Yeah, give me more emotional trauma, please. Thank you.
So
Feelings Man 2.
So the mission with Howard, basically there's this homeless man who has pigeons, and the pigeons to him are like his family, and he asks you to take the pigeons and find them a new home somewhere safe because he's going away. And by going away, you don't find out until the end of the mission that he knows that it's his time to pass on, and by the time it's over, he's passed away. And I must have swung around New York City for a good half an hour trying to process what the fuck just happened, because it hit me hard that I was not expecting that at all. That was fantastic.
Yep. So all that could be talked about in that review, all of those friendly neighborhood Spider-Man missions, they're just really, really good. All very much worth doing. And then, like you mentioned, because you can do most of them, or at least half of them, I want to say, I can't say most off the top of my head for sure, as either Spider-Man, it does give you a degree of replayability as well. I actually made a save because it wasn't spoiled, but I kind of heard that Howard mission was really, really good, and you should check it out with both. So I made a save before doing the Howard mission, and then I played through as Miles. And then because I had that history with Howard from the 2018 Spider-Man playing as Pete, I was like, okay, now I'm going to do it like the true way with Peter. And yeah, they hit real well. Like you said, you give yourself some time to kind of process swinging around, doing some tricks, letting those tears flow through the mask.
Man, I wish the game would have had more of that.
Yep.
But, you know.
Hey, that's that 10 hours you were talking about. You know, give me some more of those kind of interpersonal. You know, Spider-Man has always been the best, not when he's doing a save the world mission, not when he's going out into space like Tom Holland. It's about helping the man on the street, you know, crashing into, not crashing literally, but, you know, busting into a bodega and beating up some robbers who tried to, you know, take out Tio. So that's the big thing, is that interpersonal connectedness of having Spider-Man as the literal friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the most important part of the character. That's the heart of the character for me. So that's why all of those little moments, whether it be in the story, dealing with Harry as, you know, Pete's a real good friend there, or these smaller moments with Howard and then the old man on the bench, you know, those are the ones that hit the most, and they don't hit as much as, like, you know, that kind of small moment you had with May, or the moments you have even with Miles and like his dad, you know, before that, or rather like right around the time that the city hall gets attacked. You know, those smaller moments like that in 2018 hit a little bit more for me than they did in 2023. So
yeah,
still good,
yeah,
but just wanted a little bit more of that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, I feel like Miles was he was definitely this was a Peter Parker game. Like, this was a Peter Parker vehicle, and Miles was a lot more of a footnote in terms of, he got his Mysterio action going on. He got a little bit of stuff between him and Rio and them trying to figure out what happened to the Cultural Museum in, I believe, Harlem is the borough that he's from. But it's a bit of a shame that we talked about this a little bit, and something that I was really curious in terms of the takes that Will and Goo had on the show about how they balanced mechanically being Peter versus Miles, because I was really concerned that playing Peter was going to feel stale and lifeless compared to how Miles had the Venom abilities and these crazy awesome abilities they introduced in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I think that they did a fantastic job of still, like, they gave Pete obviously his arms so he could be, you know, obviously the mechanical arms. Although I wanted to do a little stabby move at some point that we didn't really get. We didn't really have that this time around. But it was really interesting to see how they use different mechanical components, especially when you go later on and you get absorbed by the symbiote and you get the symbiotic powers, which were really, really cool. The Venom powers were great, 10 out of 10. And even when they get juiced up and you start just going on rage mode as Venom, it's very reminiscent of the Wolverine games earlier on in the PS2, PS3 era, when he would start, you know, going rage and just like tear through enemies through a map. It was awesome. But I feel like Miles again was easier still to play with. With all that being said, like, he was like, his different move sets and his loadouts, it seemed like he had a lot more agency in terms of like moment to moment combat than Pete did. I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not, but it was until Pete, of course, gets the symbiote. But yeah, I know that I kind of mainlined Miles until I was forced not to.
So the way that I love to play video games is that I am the scariest thing in the room. Doesn't matter what type of game it is. I want to be the thing that everybody fears. Even with the symbiote suit, Miles let me feel that way whenever I played the game.
Yeah.
So I think Miles was, just because of his abilities and his powers and whatnot, I think he was the better character to play as in the game, even if it was a Peter story. And it really wasn't by a lot, but I just didn't feel like I needed the Venom suit. I had everything that I had with the Venom abilities that Miles had. So.
And you can go invisible, which I forgot half the time. I was just like, I forgot. Down on the D-pad, just go invisible.
Right? I'm getting my ass handed to me, and I'm like, wait, I can go invisible.
Goodbye. And I said, and swing away.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see the differences in mechanics between the two characters, and the traversal mechanics, especially as Miles and his cool little thing where he's doing on the phone as he's falling from the sky. I just realized that they they tutored me on the show that that's actually a different motion. You put down on the D-pad and then press square in order to do the various moves between Pete and Miles. But yeah, it's really fun kind of to see the lightiness and the web wings. Like, I couldn't say more about how freaking cool the web wings are. Good. I'm curious though, Chris, when you're talking about I want to be the scariest one in the room, which suit made you feel that way for Miles?
Oh man.
Sorry, I know. I mean, that's an off the head top question, but
I say with like 60 plus suits.
Yeah,
in
there
the
was
game.
definitely a ton. I was curious if you used the one with the cape, because I saw Will use the one that was like the Arachnite suit, I think is what they called that.
Yeah, it's the deluxe edition.
Oh,
cape,
okay, yeah.
You guys are gonna be disappointed, but the only suit that I changed was Peter's blue suit. I made it black. That's it. Mm-hmm. The rest of the game I played. I played with the vanilla,
the base suit.
Yeah.
You know what's the crazy thing? The base suits are
so
fantastic,
good.
though. Like, especially Pete's Advanced Suit 2.0, it made me realize that I hate the first Advanced Suit, and I loved the first Advanced Suit. So you look at them side by side, and I'm like, oh, why is the Advanced Suit so orange and gross? Like, 2.0 has that red pop, and like it just looks so sweet.
I just made his pants black, and that's it. The rest stayed the same. When they gave Miles his final suit, I stuck with the final suit. I didn't change back to the other one.
Yeah.
And like I kept looking at the suits unlocking and looking at the variations and everything. I'm like, holy fuck, there's a lot of really cool fucking suits.
Yeah.
But I don't want to miss the game the way that the developers meant for it to be played, which is with vanilla suit.
That.
I respect that a lot because I am a big proponent of doing the canon timeline. Like, I don't want to, like, same thing like for Tears of the Kingdom. It was funny when this ultimately happened, but I didn't want to show up in a cutscene as Link talking to the sages of ancient Hyrule with the Zonai, and he's got a sword that's attached to a fish, and then he's wearing like his skirt with the titty out and everything, and then he's wearing like he's snow boots and stuff. Like, you're just kind of this mishmash.
You don't want the CC helmet on?
Exactly. I should have put the CC helmet on for sure and be Toon Link for the little Bokoblin helmet, absolute gremlin. But yeah, I agree with you in that. Like, I like playing games and I like imagining it. And that's the great thing about playing Sony first party games, is that they are cinematic experiences. And so when you get to play something that like feels canon, it just makes it that much better. That being said, I love the family business suit. The family business suit where he has got like a power generator on his back. Gold. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah,
it's a good one.
Gotta look that up.
I like that that suit you get from Miles. That's, I think, really close to the end. It might be the last suit you unlock for him. Can't remember if it's a story based one or not, but it's effectively like a Carnage suit.
Yeah, because his eyes are like
twirling
twirling up like that. Yeah, that's so sick.
So that one's really good. And then I think when you complete all of the nests for the symbiotes, you also get the suit for Miles, King in Black, where it's another symbiote suit with like a pauldrons. That looks really badass. So those are both really cool.
I really like the Wolverine suit. That one looked really fucking cool.
Yes, that was
I forgot
awesome.
about that one.
It's such a shock too. I did not realize they would have put that in there, which of course once I unlocked it, I was like, oh no shit, they're doing Wolverine, of course. But I was like, oh, that's so cool though. It looks awesome.
That one looks dope. And for Peter, man, I just really like that 2.0 suit with the black pants.
It's so good.
Like every time they would change it in a cutscene or something, I would hit start, put the suit back on. Let's continue the fucking game. Don't change my pants.
Put it.
That's amazing.
Trying to think from the other Peter suit. I mean, I stuck with the Advanced 2.0 a lot because it's just how good it looked. And of course, once I got the symbiote suit, I used that one a lot. What I did like to do as well, because they counted it technically as a symbiote suit, like it changed his swinging, which I don't know if y'all also recognize that too. Whenever you're wearing the black suit as Pete, it actually changes his animations for swinging.
Really?
And of course, it makes your webs, instead of being the white webs, they're
black.
The symbiote goo. Yeah. So the only other suit that does that, aside from the black suit and then the symbiote suit later on when it starts to take Pete over more, is the cartoon, or rather the comic kind of specific black suit. So you have a couple of different versions of that when you have just the normal black, and it like kind of looks very flat and comic-y.
I really like the red and blue Venom suit. The one that had like the
Yep.
red and blue shine to it.
The highlights on the sides.
Oh,
Yes,
that looks
exactly.
so fucking good.
It's awesome.
That one looked
That's
great
like, let's
in
say,
motion.
it's a different one of those versions of that suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they even got like the old school purple because he was like very purple in the comics too. So that's in like that same vein. So I love that suit as well.
It's a lot to love about this game, man.
Agreed.
I honestly, I didn't have any issues with it playing it. And I started seeing people like posting, like talking shit about the game. Even Nave from Gaming Together posted something.
What did he say?
I don't
What did
know
he say?
what the
Put him on blast. Put him on blast.
he shared something that somebody said, "Oh, the Spider-Man, like the game is shit," and he said something along the lines of "just enjoy the fucking game" or something. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck people are talking about that the game is bad. I haven't had any fucking problems at all with the game, and now I'm finding out that people were indeed having problems with the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I might have. I
had a couple of crashes.
Yeah, I might have been more forgiving if I had less technical problems. Thankfully, I didn't get the spider square, the spider cube, and my tenant didn't.
I would have loved getting the spider cube.
It does
so
look
cool.
really cool. I will admit that. But yeah, it's just like it's really interesting. Just all of the mechanical bugs and the hiccups that happen, which is something that I'm not really expecting from something that gives all of the first party love that all of the PS4 generation games got from Insomniac and Santa Monica and Naughty Dog and some of these other games. So it's just, it was surprising to me considering the fact that, especially after playing a game like Zelda that had so many years of QA that it was able to go through in order to achieve, the levels of game design that game achieved. It's just like, oh man, it's just, there weren't enough resources, and there frankly just wasn't enough time to put out something. But yeah, and then again, it's like it's always you hear something different from everybody you listen to. Whenever you're on Twitter, everyone's got always a different viewpoint because someone said the same thing, and they were like, "Oh, Insomniac games are always buggy at launch." That has never been true for me. Insomniac games have always been incredible right out of the gate. So it's you gotta take it in.
I think I did get stuck in one part of Rift Apart. I was using the hover boots in that planet that's kind of like a bog, and I think I got caught on a piece of fucking environment scenery or whatever. And
Yeah,
I think that's the only issue I've ever had with any of their games.
right.
So
It's so funny. One of my issues is like super nitpicky, but whenever you're going to open up a box in Spider-Man 2, so like whether it have tech parts in it or something like that, I don't know if you ever realized, but if you actually put the camera like towards you and then you're standing right where you need to press triangle at, like the triangle button will not appear unless you're looking with the camera like directly at the box itself, kind of like behind Pete's back or behind Miles's back. So it's just so janky how you can be in the right space at the right time to hit the right button, but if the camera's not in the right spot, game doesn't recognize that this is something that can be opened.
yeah, that did happen to me every time that they wanted you to press triangle and you weren't looking the right way.
When I was
That was a thing.
When I was Pete and you go through the mission where you're trying to find Kurt Connors and you're going through his house and you press triangle to interact with it, it got to the point where it was the wall with the medicine vials and you have to pull out a book or something and it opens up, press triangle. I spent like 15 minutes trying to get that triangle to populate, and I eventually had to like reload my save before I went back. Like, and it was like, that's just one example of a ton that happened to me throughout that time. So it was rough.
It's small stuff, but it's annoying. Yeah, little pain points.
So we're almost at 2 hours. Let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. So let's start with Nick. Final thoughts? Anything else you want to say about the game before we wrap up?
Yeah, definitely. I would say ignore everything that I've said. Play this game. Play this game. This is a fantastic video game from a fantastic developer that's going to continue a path of excellence. I think that there are going to be some times where stories will resonate with you more than others. I have been a Spider-Man fan all of my life. I was a little boy playing with, Spider-Man action figures in my room, getting ready for the very first Spider-Man 1 movie to come out with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi and everything that was involved with that. And that is part of the core of my identity. And I've read the Marvel Ultimate Comics. And so I haven't gone too deep down like the Fantastic Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon rabbit hole. That's something that might have to save for a different time in my life, maybe when I have kids or something. But I think it's really, really good. And this game is it's going to be another feather in Insomniac's cap of just a representation of excellence. You're going to have fun playing this game, whether you want to or not. Once you open up those web wings and you're flying around New York City, this game it sings and it hums on all levels, mechanically, combat wise. And it is very visually striking at times. Like the art design, I think is unimpeachable at moments. I don't have zero problems with the way that they portrayed the city, the protagonists, the villains here. I think that it's fantastic. So make sure, if this is going to come out, if you're a PC gamer, wait for it to come on Steam. And I bet you, and I hope that the Steam port is good. But like, I think that you just deserve to go out and play this game however you can for whatever service it comes to, for sure.
All right, Will.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and just repeat that same thing. Please ignore Nick. Make sure you go play this game. Enjoy all of the facets that it has, including playing as the Mary Jane Wick, because that's a blast of a mission. Well,
if you enjoy
triple
that,
missions that you get to do the groaning. But still, it's a fantastic game. I want people to make sure that, one, if you love 2018, then you are definitely going to love Spider-Man 2. It may be varying based off of how much you enjoy 2018, but it's still there, and it's still a fantastic game to enjoy. If you like Spider-Man in general, this is one of the best Spider-Man stories between Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 that we've gotten. So please dive into this and enjoy this if you haven't already jumped into 2018 or Miles Morales before this point. It's just a stellar game in a year full of stellar games, and it's easily in my top 5. So please spend your money.
I don't know if kids listen to your podcast at all, Chris, or if you have a younger audience between the ages.
I hope they don't.
But these damn kids,
really
they don't know a goddamn thing about what Spider-Man was like when we were kids. Going down in the original, back in my day when I had to load the ROM onto my PC, Spider-Man was just shooting webs up into the air, clinging to nothing.
Space.
There was cloud cover below the city, so you couldn't go that down. Mm-hmm. This is going to be like the best feeling Spider-Man. I'm imagining someone who's just turning like 7 or 8 and they're learning how to use a PS5 controller, and this is the first Spider-Man that they can play. That's all you can ask for as a kid, man. This is pure magic, pure gold on a plate.
Yep.
If you're that
Spider-Man
kid,
2.
If you're that kid and you're listening to this podcast, fuck you. You don't, you don't deserve it.
See, that's why now I'm starting to understand why Will is going to go back and make Caro play Dark Souls 1 and Super Mario 64.
Yes, you gotta get good
you got to learn how to
immediately.
come up from the mud like me,
right?
Yep. She's gonna be like, Dad, can I play Spider-Man 2? I'm like, you can on the PS2, on the GameCube.
No, you can play.
You need to go save some balloons like I did.
Maximum Carnage on the Super Nintendo and Separation Anxiety.
There you go. Take it way back.
Okay, you're gonna suffer like I did.
Yeah.
Play the Glovers and the Tonic Troubles of the world.
I'm not trying to throw you off from your final thoughts, Chris, but do you have a lot of retro consoles?
I have a SNES Mini. I think I have a Sega somewhere, a Nintendo 64, a GameCube, DS.
So sick.
I don't have
That's
any
awesome.
games for them, but
okay, so you got the consoles. That's really sick, though.
Yeah, all the games are on the Steam Deck. So
yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. So final thoughts about the game. The journey's more important than the end for me for this game. I had an amazing time by the time I was done. I had just had the most amazing experience. To be honest, I don't remember the last fight with Venom. I don't remember what happens to Venom or Harry. I know that they kind of set up the Goblin serum.
The G serum, yep.
Yeah, because I
get the G serum.
I was falling asleep during that part of the game, so I don't really remember it. So, and even though I don't remember it, I still think this game is a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best games I've played this year, and I am pretty sure that I'm probably going to revisit this game at some point in the future. I don't replay a lot of games, but when I do, it's because they were important.
Yep.
So it's if you buy a PS5 and you can only get one game, get Fallen Jedi Survivor. That's a better game than this one, but if you can get another one, get this one.
He's correct. Yeah, if you have $120, get Spider-Man 2 and Jedi Survivor, and you'll have a great time.
Right.
Well, if you have $120, you can get Jedi Survivor, then you can get God of War Ragnarok, and then right after that, you can get Spider-Man 2.
That's true. That's true.
Ragnarok felt a little bit too Last of Us-y at times, and I was ready for it to
Oh,
end.
no. I know how you feel about that one. Yep.
Whenever it was like Atreus was gone for like 4 hours, I was like, fucking kill me. I don't care. It was still a fun game. That it was well worth playing through it. And hopefully that next game that's coming out is going to be good. 'Cause apparently it's going to be all Atreus.
All right.
Fingers crossed, right?
Sir Loki himself.
Right. So, guys, thank you for being on. Go ahead, plug your show. I know, Nick, you've been on, so you've plugged it before. So Will, plug it, because you haven't been on before.
The boy.
It's plug time. It's plug time, baby. All right. So, it is the boys, Nick and Will from the Friday Night Gamecast. You can find us on Twitter as FNGC Pod. Please come yell at Nick. He's the one that controls it, so he gets to see all of your use and abuse. If you want to go to the Instagram, that's generally me. That's going to be Friday Night Gamecast. Do you have an at on
It's
the
just
Instagram?
Friday
I know
Night
I run it,
Gamecast,
and I don't know. Is it just Friday Night Gamecast? All right, perfect. So you know how to find us on there. As far as my personals, if you're looking to yell at me, say some goofy stuff in my DMs, please don't send me anything explicit because my wife's going to beat me up. It'll be at Real King Zozotai. That's RealKingZosotai. What about yourself, Nick? You got those personals. I feel like you've never really given out like your personal, even though you've definitely shared stuff from the pod. So I don't know if you're trying to be more like
No,
clandestine,
it's not
trying to
that.
keep
It's
it
just
on the
I'll
low.
put people on blast on my main feed. If they want to come at me, I will just tweet directly from the FNGC account about how wrong they are. So no, but yeah, if you want to, like, it's directly linked in our main Twitter profile. So if you want to holler at me personally or follow me, support the boy. It's at
there you
Nikolai at
go.
Night, and you can find us there. And I don't know if this is like if this is at all like a faux pas of coming on someone else's show and then promoting your Patreon, but we do have a Patreon, so
It is. It's a faux pas. It's a faux pas.
I'm not going to do that. I don't think you figure it out if you really want to. But yeah, we have that there, and just keep an eye out for the rest of December on all podcasting platforms, and you can find us.
True.
And we'll reach out to you.
Sounds good. And they were on my, again, top 5 Spotify rap. Ever since I think it was Will that reached out to me to be on your show, I started listening and I haven't stopped since. So you guys are fucking great.
Dude, thank you, Chris. It's fantastic.
If you guys don't take me to work on Friday, you take me to work on Monday. So
that's what I love to hear. That further incentivizes me to make sure that our posts like drop on 1 a.m. For like at least Eastern Standard Time, so people when they get in the car that episode is ready to plug and play. So I love that. Thank you so much for your support and listening and all that.
Yeah, that's
and
actually
same deal because we posted that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say so we posted that. I think I posted my Wrapped. I can't remember if you've done your personal rap, Nick, but yeah, I think I posted my rap, and you were on there too. So of course, Novel Console, it's mutual. Obviously, high quality podcast. I love coming in here and listening. It's not only just the fun, interesting video game stuff that I love to get from all my other podcast friends, but y'all are just goofy, and I just love it. I love sitting on the virtual couch listening to y'all, go back and forth, and bring in the books. Give me the garbage. I love the little bits and the different segments y'all have. So obviously, if you're listening to this now, you're a fan of Novel Console, but continue to listen. Please binge more of their content because it's only going to get better and better.
It is. Thank you. That means a lot, Will. Thank you so much. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh no, my bad.
Oh fuck.
Oh, so like I'm curious, like what is? Well, let me turn this back on you, Chris. Like, what is December going to look like for Chris and Carradine in a novel console? Like, what do you got lined up in the docket that you are willing to share with the audience?
Okay, so it's going to be this episode, and then it's just going to be the rest is just going to be like a yearly wrap up, our favorite books and games of the year.
Okay,
Everything that we completed, that we played and watched throughout the entire year, and then it's just going to be what we want for next year. So it's just going to be end of the year bullshit.
nice, perfect.
But yeah. So it's really super easy content, and we can record it whenever the fuck we want. So it'll be
Amazing.
just sitting there ready to come out. So,
Good stuff.
but yeah. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. I really wanted to say something and I forgot. Anyways, just listen to FNGC. They're fantastic people, and show's great. Patreon's great. Everything's great. Just go give them a follow and just have fun, because they're definitely one of the best podcasts out there.
Oh, thank you, man.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, guys, thank you for being on. That's it for the Spider-Man episode. We actually hit 2 hours. Awesome. It'll probably be less because I got to cut out that part where Nick died.
Yeah, I died.
This man
I
went
died.
MIA.
But yeah, thank you guys for being on. Do y'all want to say goodbye to everyone?
Everyone,
Until
till
next
next
time.
time, download all their episodes.
Definitely.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.